Hey guys, happy Friday. And if you're watching this and it's not Friday, I still hope you're having a fantastic day. So, today we've got a pretty cool topic for those who are looking to build a new website. As we all know, websites are a necessary component to any successful business. Well, most successful businesses. I can't really think of an industry that wouldn't require a website, so probably all businesses. All right, so I've been working in this field for over 10 years. I've built hundreds, or I've worked with people and teams who have built hundreds of websites, launched and maintained them on hosting. I've worked from the project management side all the way to managing a department, to selling websites, and then owning my own business that builds websites. And let's just say I'm a bit of, I've been around the block. I don't want to call myself a guru because I absolutely loathe that term. And actually, the first on this list should be that if you're looking for a company to build your website and they call themselves a guru, that you should run. Let's be real. There's so many BSers in this field, and it's kind of infuriating. And my rant is over. Okay, let's move on to the content. All right, so I recently published this blog, and I'm creating a video for those who don't want to read it or would prefer to engage with the video as well. Oftentimes, I'll go through the blog and kind of call out a couple extra details as I go. So there's a little bit more information in here than in the blog. But all right, we're a minute 40 in. Let's do this thing. All right, questions and consideration for your next website project. So if you are working to hire a team, or maybe you're just going to be doing it internally, you have to have you need to probably be asking these questions. So number one, what content management system is right for your project? Otherwise known as a CMS. There are a lot of options that are out there. All websites are built using key frameworks like HTML, CSS, all the like JavaScript. Can name a bunch more that don't mean anything to most people. But so, what content management system is right for you? All websites are built using those key components that I just mentioned, but the content management system will give you the ability to edit text, edit photos without having to know code. Now, they're not all built equally, but they've come a really long way, especially since when I started building websites eons ago, when the dinosaurs roamed the earth. So essentially, I'm going to go over the top three. So the main big boys that you're probably going to run into are Joomla, WordPress, and Drupal. There's a lot of websites that are currently being built on these frameworks. They're open source, meaning that any developer can use the source code to build their own add-ons for any of these. They can build their own themes, which is essentially like a layout and with some special functionality. And they can build their own like features and functionality, like a event add-on, for instance, or e-commerce, for instance. So back in the day, I would say like maybe somewhere around 2012, all of these content management systems were chugging along, and one kind of came out on top. That's WordPress. It's a open source, as I mentioned. So you had more developers that were working with that source code in order to develop better themes, better features, better functionality, make it more accessible, more SEO friendly for the search engines. And then now in 2021, we've got a couple others that are out there and available, but none that give you quite as much power or features and functionality as WordPress does. So it's still top dog. Who knows? Next year there could be something new that comes out, or maybe Squarespace or Wix could really pull forward. But for the most part, you're going to run into agencies that develop in Joomla, WordPress, or Drupal. Now, Joomla and Drupal, I mean, I'm sure they're fine, but the developers working on those, it's kind of like a dying breed, and they're not creating nearly as much functionality as WordPress is. So you're probably going to run into WordPress, a company that builds websites in WordPress. Now, sorry about that. I have to drink my water. Stay hydrated, people. All right. So the one thing you need to know about WordPress is that no two WordPress websites are 100% alike. They could be using different themes or different plugins. And this is really important because you want to consider usability. in that content management system. So all those options are going to give you the ability to change out photos and text, but some WordPress themes don't give you the ability to create custom layouts, meaning you have to go to a designer to get a design that's laid out. Oh, I want this module to be here. It's going to look just like this. It's going to respond just as so. And then you're going to have a developer actually build it out, implement it in the theme, and do quality control and testing and yada, yada. It's an arduous process and it costs money. It costs money for the agency, costs time for the project manager that's working, and time for the client as well. So that's going to be a little bit more expensive. There is a benefit to building something that's completely custom, but most of the time you want to use a theme that is kind of modular, that you're able to take prefab designs, change the color overlay, the typography, the placement, the imagery, and any icons, etc., etc. You have as much, almost as much functionality with a theme like Salient or Divi. And there's a few others. That Elementor is a good one. These all have extremely powerful agile capability. So when you say, I need a new landing page built, it's got to look, nice, but I don't have a ton of money. Can you do this? Well, then you're able to actually go in and build like that page out without having to go through all those steps in the process. All right. So that's first and foremost. So I would personally recommend WordPress. I develop all of my websites in WordPress. And what's more, with my hosting package, I offer free updates, up to half an hour per month, but usually for those small updates, it's quite sufficient. All right, so what functionality do you need for your website? Almost all websites are going to come with key functionality like mobile responsiveness, a top navigation with your logo and links. It's going to have contact forms, maybe a map. But then there are some other more advanced functionality features that you definitely need to consider when building out your site and hiring anybody to build that out for you. It's going to affect cost, and that might be e-commerce, for instance. That could be anything that might be a social media platform where you need people to have user accounts so that they can log in and talk to each other, like an intranet, for instance. So you want to, document all the functionality that you need, and then you go into another deep dive, which I'm not going to really get into right now. But yeah, you want to really consider what that advanced functionality is going to be. And for most businesses that are just building a marketing website, you don't need that advanced functionality. You're not building a full platform here. So yeah, that's all I got to say about that. All right, track record. Have they worked in your field before? If so, what are some examples of their work? They're going to understand what your brand voice is. They'll understand like your brand and your target audience better, so that they understand, this call to action needs to start here, or we want to display imagery that resonates with your, your each buyer persona, for instance. And then if you have advanced functionality, have they implemented your required technology in previous projects? I can't tell you how many projects I've been on where they wanted something that was so advanced and we just didn't do it before, but we quoted it high, we got it, and then we build it out. And man, it's exhausting for everybody involved with the amount of quality control, figuring out the logic that needs to be implemented, developing the database, understanding how to cross-reference that to come up with blah, blah, blah. So have they implemented your required technology in the past? If so, it's probably going to be a win for you guys. All right. Do they have great testimonials and a high rating online? Obviously, this is important. It goes without saying. So check out their past work. Their design styles are oftentimes going to be different between agency. I know that a lot of my websites have a very consistent design. It's modern, it's clean, great use of white space. That's what I like. That's what I know that works. My clients like it. So that's what I always go with. But maybe you want something that's completely funky and out of this world, in which case you would want to find an agency that resonates with that, who has funky and out of this world, projects that they've published in the past. Content requirements. If you have a website already, is that content approved? If so, are you able to take that content and then just simply give it a facelift? Because this is really called like a reskin, as opposed to like a full website development or a deep dive into your brand. I specialize in reskins because they are a lot easier. You don't have to go into a brand deep dive in order to uncover a lot of different, um, a lot of different, what am I trying to say? You don't have to go into a brand deep dive as much. Also, do you need to hire a writer? Is the marketing manager or business owner, are you going to be providing that approved content? Otherwise, you need to hire a writer. And sometimes, if you have a technical industry, you're going to need a technical writer. Otherwise, what's the point of redoing your website if you're going to get eyes on it and the content doesn't resonate with your audience? So, also, photos and video. Are you requiring photos and video to be implemented? And if so, do you have them or do they need to be developed? Photos and video are great. A lot of businesses and agencies have access to stock, photography, like Shutterstock, for instance, or Pixabay. They have access to those types of databases and repositories. But, there's something to be said about having a custom photographer that comes in and gets custom photos for your brand. All right, moving on. How much is hosting and maintenance on a monthly basis? So there's a lot of agencies out there that will charge a couple $100 a month just to maintain the site. And that can include doing core updates here and there, any type of bug fixes, fixing like any type of speed issues that may arise. And I'll be honest with you, we do the same thing for $40 a month, and we include the monthly. We include the monthly, like half an hour a month for revisions. We also include a reporting dashboard. So, you want to really lock down what does that hosting and maintenance cost, and then what's included. If you need a request, what's that billed at, and are there any that are actually included? Because a lot of agencies will bill like at a minimum $150 an hour, and if you make a request, their minimum is an hour. So every time you make a request, it's $150, and that really adds up. All right. Last but not least, what type of reporting is offered post-launch? So almost every agency is going to give you, if you already have a website, you probably already have these, Google Analytics and Google Search Console. Google Analytics is going to tell you where your website traffic came from, how they engaged with the website. And if you have goals set up, it's going to tell you like which channel, like social media, SEO, PPC, provided the most leads. So if you fill out a form, that could fire a goal, and then you're able to look at all of your different channels and campaigns to identify the performance of each. However, some of those can be really, and Search Console. Search Console is essentially your visibility in search engines. So what keywords did users search for to find your website in search engines? How many clicks did you get? How many impressions did you get? And what was your current ranking of that keyword? So I use this a lot to go back and re-optimize pages after a website's been published in order to boost rankings for what I know people are searching for to land on that page. Anyway, Search Console is your visibility in search engines. Google Analytics is the engagement and acquisition once they land on your website from any channel, not just search engines. So all the hosting packages that we offer come with simplified reporting portals. Those are going to include the links up with Google Analytics, so you're going to get that traffic reporting. We're going to get reviews, which is like reputation management of your local listings, performance, and then you're also going to get keyword tracking. So this is an all-in-one monthly report, and that comes standard with the hosting. So that's a nice little add-on that we like to offer, something you should be considering whenever you are shopping for a new website provider. All right, we're at 14 minutes, but no article will be complete without shameless self-promotion. If you or anybody you know needs a website, I'd be happy to talk to you and have an exploration call. So schedule a consultation or an exploration call and let's get the party started. All right, guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. I know it was a bit lengthy, but I hope it was informative for those of you who are looking to build a new website. Thanks again for tuning in. Have a great day. Take care.